What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
All right. What is it, Sunday night? Then it must be the Sunday Night Radio Baloney Live. I am your host, Richie Baloney. How's everybody doing? Good to see you, Mickey, JJ, Rosie. How's it going, you guys? Hope everybody had a good weekend so far. There's still a little bit left. I guess we're going to hang out together for the rest of the weekend. That'll be fun. Then what are we going to talk about? I don't know. I don't know. Who got the first like? Mickey got the first like. That is double good karma for Mickey. As everybody knows, we stream on Rumble, YouTube, Locals, and X. And whoever gets the first like on any of those gets double good karma, more than the regular just one good karma that you get when you like at any time in any of those. You can get as many as 8 good karmas if you get the first like on all of those. In these troubled times, obviously, that could be extremely valuable. Also, subscribe to the channel and stuff. Nevada got second. That's so close. You know what? 1.5 for Nevada. 1.5. We're going 1.5. We're getting generous here. Let's see. Rosie says, Richie, if you are not going to be here on Tuesday, maybe drop a placeholder video that says when you return. It could include names, something fun, just not live. It will include the absolute least amount of time it takes me to put something up. So, and that will be all of it. So, I don't know. I was thinking about that earlier because I'm not sure if I can go live on Tuesday or not. But I will put up something so people can see. There's no like community notes or anything on Rumble, so that's really the only thing I can do. It's actually the most effective thing because anybody who's going to see the stream will see it. Sorry, you can't do it tonight. All right. Izzy got like number 3. That means Izzy, you know what? Because we're generous again tonight, 1.25 good karma for Izzy. Very generous indeed. All right. But the important thing is that people are liking the stream. In fact, I'm going to give it a like myself right now. There we go. Off to a good start already. Excellent stuff. So let's go through the menu. What are we going to talk about tonight? We're going to first off talk more about this Russia collusion hoax stuff. We've got a thread from Tulsi here, which kind of takes us all through it, explains it quite well. We're going to do that. We're going to go through some Danielle Smith talking about Canadian media bias. And this is some good stuff. She's very impressive. I'm extremely impressed by the Premier of Alberta, Danielle Smith. We've got some memes. We've got woke mind virus stuff. We're going to listen to this dingbat, and you just won't be able to believe it. Actually, you will, because it's always the same shit and always so dead behind the eyes. What is that? What happens to them? It's like their soul gets ripped from them by the woke mind virus. We are going to talk a little bit about the Trump tariffs regarding Canada. We are going to talk about liberal spending, this level of spendthriftedness. How would you say it? They're very spendthrift, the liberals, and it's just crazy at this point. Canada is not in good shape financially, and just determined to just keep giving away money for gibberish. What do we got here? Woke Canada stuff. Woke Canada stuff. We have to look at that. More something from Pierre Poilievre here. Talking about, what a disaster it's turning out to be, having Mark Carney as Prime Minister, as he warned us, as so many warned us, as I warned so many people. Well, the people that actually saw my videos anyway. We've got some polling here, which is just, it's not a good sign for Canada's survival as a country. So the carbon tax, consumer carbon tax that was brought down to 0 by Carney, something he stole from Pierre Poilievre to get elected. Well, the relief from that is short-lived because they got a whole new thing to take your money away. I said Mark Carney was going to extract every penny from Canadians to give away to his globalist green boondoggles, and I meant it. The EU. So here's a guy who's not happy that European money, German money, is going to fund government in Syria that is, or the group that's controlling Syria that is just slaughtering people left, right, and center. Canada also did that too, and I said it at the time that this is not humanitarian, it's terrorism funding. And of course, that's what it was. Then we have the last one, some stuff you guys sent me, something just disgusting sent to me by Rosie at the last minute. I checked the messages on X at the last minute, and she sent me this absolutely disgusting video here. It's gross. I don't want to show it to you guys, but she sent it to me, and I have to show it now, but it's absolutely disgusting. So I'm just warning you guys. You can blame Rosie for that one. Let's see. She sent this one too, which is nice. It's an elephant saving a gazelle there, which is a nice thing. Look, elephants are nice. They're nice. I could be friends with an elephant, I think. Let's see. This, so we got a whole bunch of random stuff in here that we're going to. This is just turning, this has gotten a life of its own now, which is out of control. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at, there's all kinds of stuff. WNBA is threatening to sit out again, as if anybody would ever notice. There's like bodies like in the rivers in Portland. It's just craziness. You got Colbert getting fired. Not very surprising. I think the Colbert Show was a good example of the mind virus just taking over, and it doesn't care about anything. It doesn't even care about once the woke mind virus if you're Stephen Colbert and you have a show, a late night show, and you're infected by the woke mind virus, and then you spread it to everybody who works at the show is not about what the show was about before. Now it's about woke mind virus. That's it. And you will be very happy once you've lost your free will and your agency to the woke mind virus. I'm not even being facetious, by the way. I seriously mean this. Once you lose all agency and control to the woke mind virus, like Stephen Colbert, you don't even care if the show succeeds anymore. You're happy for the show to just get destroyed. The show is literally being destroyed. They're just taking it off the air entirely. You don't even care about that anymore. That you lose your all sense of self-preservation. You're just now about spreading the mind virus at all costs once you've been infected with the idea pathogen. But this is not of a concern. This is not of concern to Engine Lady, to Auto Parts Store Tina. She doesn't care about this. She's got her head in the right place. She's thinking about engines and how to sell one to you.
Engine manufacturing. If you need many engine, you can find them. Don't hurt me. Don't lie to me. They are very complex. They are very practical. Many engine in manufacturing. What are you thinking? Why have you come to me? Please believe me. Please choose me. They are very complex. I hope you can take them. They are very complex. Many engine in manufacturing. What are you thinking?
See, Stephen Colbert is so possessed by the woke mind virus, he doesn't even care about her engines. If you could believe that, if you could believe there could be a person, especially a man on this planet, who doesn't care about her or her engines or how complete her engines are, or that would even lie to her or hurt her, like emotionally, I think she's talking about there. It would have to be somebody like Stephen Colbert that could do those terrible, terrible things. See, I don't think he even cares about her. He's so possessed by TDS, by the woke mind virus. He probably hasn't even given a second thought to Auto Parts Store Tina in China and her very complete engines. And they are very complete, as you can see. And she puts her hands out so you can see she's indicating all of these engines and how complete they are. Now what's going on? Let's see. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Let's just get started. Is that what we're doing? Are we just getting started? All right, let's do it. You guys aren't saying much in the chat, so I guess I just got to get on with the stories. I wanted to spend some time on the chat and talk to you guys, but you guys aren't saying much, so I guess we just have to get into the stories. Whatever. I don't care. I'm happy to do the stories. Not like I'm upset or feeling rejected or anything at all. Rosie says 16 on Rumble, 14 here, needs more likes. Needs more likes. It certainly does. Spambot says, checking in late. That's okay. Spambot says, I was working overtime today. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. Had to get food and whiskey. So you're going to watch the show and get hammered? Hey, that's a good evening right there. All right. So let's just get started. So this thing's heating up, and I think that Trump is quite serious about it. In fact, let me show you something. Here we go. MAGA Voice posted this. Breaking, Donald Trump posted an AI video of Obama getting handcuffed and thrown in prison. Okay, let's take a look. I can't play it because I can't play the sound because there's music, but there you go. So Trump, look at he's smiling. And he posts this. Only Trump, only the mad lad would do this. Only the mad lad would post this. But I get it. I mean, they tried to destroy him. They tried to ruin him. They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to put Trump in prison. You know, on for simply, they tried to put Trump in prison on false premises. They tried to destroy him, bankrupt him, throw him in prison on a bunch of fake stuff, on a bunch of stuff that was just concocted out of nothing, just because they knew that the media would be 100% willingly complicit in all of it. And we shall see that was, of course, the case. But Trump is pretty serious about this. Is this why he doesn't want to talk about the Epstein stuff? I don't know. But it's almost like Republicans or conservatives anywhere are they're just expected to turn the other cheek and to just be the better man, right? And the left just goes full out. I mean, it's just full war. It's just absolute apocalyptic war whenever they get a chance. I mean, look what they did in Canada with the Freedom Convoy, freezing people's bank accounts, throwing people in prison. I mean, Tamara Leach and Chris Barber have been through legal hell now for years, and the government is trying to throw them in prison for like 7 years. Look what they did to Donald Trump. So I guess what's good for the goose. And these are real crimes. Years-long coup. Gabbard teases release of more details on Obama-Russia intel controversy. This is a story from today. DNI says accountability is essential for the future of our country. More details are coming out concerning alleged efforts by former President Barack Obama and his team's efforts to gin up intelligence to create a narrative of Russian interference in the 2016 election. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said on Sunday, quote, next week we will be releasing more detailed information about how exactly this took place and the extent to which this information was sought to be hidden from the American people, hidden from officials who would be in a position to do something about it, Gabbard told Sunday Morning Futures host Maria Bartiromo. So that'd be this morning. That'd be Sunday morning. She added later, accountability is essential for the future of our country. For the American people to have any sense of trust in the integrity of our democratic republic, accountability, action, prosecution, indictments for those who are responsible for trying to steal our democracy is essential for us to make sure this never happens to our country again. Gabbard told Bartiromo that her team released 100 documents on Friday. They provide evidence of how this treasonous conspiracy was directed by President Obama just weeks before he was due to leave office after President Trump had already gotten elected. Gabbard also said they were referring all the records to the Department of Justice and FBI for a criminal referral. And again, I do want to say, I think they're so used to just whatever is the right wing in just whatever country, just kind of turning the other cheek, being the better person, it's not expected that they would actually like Donald Trump didn't actually go after Hillary after all the lock her up and all that stuff. He didn't actually go after Hillary when he got elected, right? The leftists will do anything. It's by any means necessary. They will go ham on you. They'll go crazy. It's just all out war, and they will do anything. They will ruin anybody. They're very happy to destroy lives on a false basis. So I kind of feel like Trump is very pissed off that they tried to put him in prison and bankrupt him and destroy him. And I think he wants some retribution for that. But it's retribution that is deserved. Hold on. Gabbard said intelligence community whistleblowers are coming forward and pledged her team would do all they could to hold accountable those responsible for the incredible lie told to the American people. Whistleblowers are coming forward. You have to think there's a lot of them. I mean, it's hard to keep all this stuff secret, right? But if you're terrified that you're going to get crushed, you're probably not. You're a lot less likely to be a whistleblower. Pressed on whether she expects indictments and prosecutions, Gabbard replied, quote, "I'm not a lawyer. In my view, we have the evidence to be able to move forward and bring about justice, yes, to prosecute and indict those responsible." I think it's going to happen. Why not? Why not? It's not like, if the Democrats, whenever the Democrats get back in power, and they will eventually, they're probably going to go after Trump again anyway, right? He might as well. It could be 20 years. And if he was 100 by that point, or almost 100, they'll still go after him. Let's take a look at this. So this was actually from July 18th. DNI Tulsi Gabbard. Americans will finally learn the truth about how in 2016, intelligence was politicized and weaponized by the most powerful people in the Obama administration to lay the groundwork for what was essentially a years-long coup against President Donald Trump, subverting the will of the American people and undermining our democratic republic. Here's how. So these slides are very useful, actually. Just really simplifies it. Creation of the Russia hoax. So what was the real intel assessment at the time? Russia and criminal actors did not impact recent U.S. election results by conducting cyber attacks on infrastructure. That was the intelligence community assessment. Donald Trump wins the 2016 election. All of a sudden, what happened? So on December 8th, after Trump won the election, POTUS briefing pulled. The intelligence community pulls product that contradicts Russia hoax narrative. So anything that contradicts it, gone. December 9th, secret Russia meeting. Obama officials meet to plan Russia hoax. December 9th, intelligence community begins outlining new assessment to claim election was hacked. So then what happens? Well, they start leaking to their collaborators in the media. Deep state leaks. Obama officials use their media propaganda arm to spread fake news. So you've got NBC News posting things like Putin personally involved in U.S. election hack. That's from U.S. officials. Russian hackers acted to aid Trump in election, U.S. says. That's the New York Times. You think people want to learn after the weapons of mass destruction hoax from the New York Times, Judith Miller, all of that? You think they would have learned that? Or maybe just ever since they've actually existed and, started out doing, communist apologetics, and apologetics for Stalin. I don't think the New York Times has ever actually been or should have been a very trusted publication. Washington Post, secret CIA assessment says Russia was trying to help Trump win White House. Washington Post. Fake weaponized assessment. That's the next stage. Suppressed prior intelligence showing Russia lacked intent and capability to hack the 2016 election. Russia. Then now you've got your Russia hoax. So you had the real intelligence, right? That the assessment was that no, that there was nothing that could have actually affected an election. And then you have, after the Obama meeting, the fake assessment, the rigged assessment. Next up, for months preceding the 2016 election, the intelligence community shared a consensus view. Russia lacked the intent and capability to hack U.S. elections. But weeks after President Trump's historic 2016 victory, defeating Hillary Clinton, everything changed. All of a sudden, everything changed. Let's see. Intel community consensus. August 31st, DHS official to DNI Clapper. We are working with CIA on PBD submission on the threat. The thrust of the analysis is that there is no indication of a Russian threat to directly manipulate the actual vote count through cyber means. That's August 31st, before it was decided that they were going to do a fake analysis. September 9th, lead author of the PBD. We agree with Russia probably is not and will not trying to influence the election by using cyber means to manipulate computer-enabled election infrastructure. December 7th. Again, this is before the Obama meeting. We assessed that foreign adversaries did not use cyber attacks on election infrastructure to alter the U.S. presidential election outcome this year. We have no evidence of cyber manipulation of election infrastructure intended to alter results. There you go. On December 8th, intelligence community officials prepared an assessment for the president's daily brief, finding that Russia did not impact recent U.S. election results by conducting cyber attacks on infrastructure. Before it could reach the president, it was abruptly pulled based on new guidance. New guidance. That says some get the orange man guidance. The key intelligence assessment was never published. Let's see. December 8th, 2016. We assessed that Russian and criminal actors did not impact recent U.S. election results by conducting malicious cyber activities against election infrastructure. December 8th, based on new guidance, we are going to push back publication of the PBD. It will not run tomorrow and is not likely to run until next week. From Tulsi Gabbard again, the next day, top national security officials, including FBI Director James Comey, CIA Director John Brennan, and DNI James Clapper gathered at the Obama White House to discuss Russia. Obama directed the IC to create a new intelligence assessment that detailed Russian election meddling, even though it would contradict multiple intelligence assessments released over the previous several months. And I guarantee you, by the way, the news organizations, all the ones who went crazy on this wall to wall, all the walls are closing in people, they all had information to the contrary, and they all suppressed it and ignored it because they knew what their job was, and it was not to inform the public. Obama's secret White House meeting on Russian election meddling. So what's this? Summary of conclusions for PC meeting on a sensitive topic. Framing Trump. That would be the sensitive topic. December 9th. So the meeting with Obama. So that's the date of the meeting with Obama. The IC is prepared to produce an assessment per the president's request that pulls together the information we have on the tools Moscow used and the actions it took to influence the 2016 election, an explanation of why Moscow directed these activities and how Moscow's approach has changed over time, going back to 2008 and 2012 as reference points. ODNI will lead the effort with participation. ODNI will lead the effort with participation from CIA, FBI, NSA, and DHS. So you see how the tones changed here just immediately overnight. Now they did. Now it's all of a sudden gone from being not taken very seriously to very seriously. And it's just it's almost like it's like now there's a certainty that in fact they were involved. So I mean, the message has gotten through. Next, Obama officials immediately leaned on their allies in the media to advance their falsehoods. Anonymous intelligence community sources leaked classified information to the Washington Post and others that Russia had intervened to hack the election in Trump's favor. Fake news gets the talking points. And I guarantee these well-connected journalists had information contradicting all of this and suppressed all of it because they knew their job isn't to inform the public, it's to do what they're told. Though Russia has long conducted cyber spying on U.S. agencies, companies, and organizations, this presidential campaign marks the first time Russia has attempted, through cyber means, to interfere in, if not actively influence, the outcome of an election, the official said. That's the Washington Post. Let's see. NBC News. U.S. intelligence officials now believe with a high level of confidence that Russian President Vladimir Putin became personally involved in the covert Russian campaign to interfere in the U.S. presidential election. Senior U.S. intelligence officials told NBC News. So just totally fake. So when was the Obama meeting? The 9th? This is December 14th. Not even a week. They were acting fast. They were moving real fast. On January 6, 2017, just days before President Trump took office, DNI Clapper, Department of National Intelligence Clapper, unveiled the Obama-directed politicized assessment, a gross weaponization of intelligence that laid the groundwork for a years-long coup intended to subvert President Trump's entire presidency. And let's go back to this NBC News report again, because this is exactly the opposite of what the intelligence had said just 6 days earlier. Let that sink in. Just 6 days earlier. Let's see. Disproven Steele dossier. Intelligence. So September 18th, 2019. September 18th, 2019. Intelligence community official admits Steele dossier was a factor in Obama ICA. It's just unbelievable. Shelby believes this should be responded to by the NIC as the dossier was a factor in the 2017 ICA on the election interference, in which an assessment of the document was added as an annex. So it was the document they knew was bullshit, that they knew was fake, that was commissioned by Hillary Clinton. It shows you that nothing mattered. All that mattered was getting Trump. These documents detail a treasonous conspiracy by officials at the highest level of the Obama White House to subvert the will of the American people and to try to usurp the president from fulfilling his mandate. This betrayal concerns every American. The integrity of our democratic republic demands that every person involved be investigated and brought to justice to prevent this from ever happening again. I wonder if the Democrats kind of regret calling her, what did they call it? They called her a Putin puppet, and they basically kicked her out of the Democrat Party. I guess because she embarrassed Kamala at the primary debates. I guess. I wonder if they regret any of that now, because it seems like she's having the last laugh. So and look, there's Donald Trump. Trump reposting this, him smiling while Obama gets arrested in front of him. But that was the face of every Democrat lawmaker. And I'm sure Barack Obama at home when they were arresting Trump. So I guess it's time for the Republicans in the United States to fight fire with fire. And in this case, I mean, you have what, sedition? Could you call it at least sedition? Like, it's actually real. This is actually real, right? This isn't like, this isn't, Trump, overestimated the value of Mar-a-Lago and then but didn't actually, but then a judge says that he did. This isn't that. This isn't taking some misdemeanor and using some bizarre legal theory to try and turn it into a felony. This is something else entirely. And it sure seems like Trump is serious about this. If he's reposting this, that's pretty hardcore. From David Joe May posted this. Tulsi says that since she released the Russiagate docs to the DOJ, whistleblowers are coming out of the woodwork. Apparently, they were afraid to speak out under the previous administration. Of course, they would have thrown them in prison and destroyed them. This clip shall forever go down in history as the epitome of media corruption and smugness. Leslie Stahl is a national disgrace. So, as soon as the media just immediately got on board with publishing stuff that they should have known was fake, leaked to them from the administration. And this is their attitude, right? So people who say you don't hate them enough, right? However much you hate them, you don't hate them enough. This is the face of all those people. This is the attitude of all these people. She is the personification of the corrupt media, right? The corrupt media, like the New York Times getting a Pulitzer Prize for their coverage of this, all totally fake, which they haven't given back, and it hasn't been asked back, by the way. But she is the embodiment of the spirit of that media class during the whole thing, and still to this day, actually.
Him walk out of a store, and he's walking with an ice cream. And the question the media asks him, what kind of ice cream, what flavor ice cream do you have? And he's in the midst of a scandal.
He's not.
And he's taking,
He's
of course
not.
he is,
No,
Leslie.
come on.
Of course he is. It's the biggest, second biggest scandal.
So,
the biggest scandal.
Oh, yeah. Sure, Leslie. Yeah, everything was totally cool with Biden. No, he's not. No, he's not. It's actually, looking back on this stuff, it's actually astounding just the absolute nerve they had. But let's continue.
Was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my
well,
campaign.
there's no
Leslie.
real evidence of that.
Of course there is. It's all over the place. Leslie,
Sir,
they spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Can I say something? You know, this is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't verify.
You won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't
Look,
put on things we can't verify.
Leslie, they spied on my...
It's amazing. They must take acting classes because it seems like she really believes what she's saying, doesn't it? It's incredible.
My campaign.
Well, we can't verify
It's been totally
that.
verified.
No.
It's been, just go down and get the papers. They spied on my campaign, they got caught.
No.
And then they went much further than that, and they got caught. And you will see that, Leslie. And you know that, but you just don't want to put it on the air.
As a matter of fact, I don't know.
These are the least qualified people to inform anybody. Like, she shouldn't be a kindergarten teacher, right? Just nothing. Like after school tutor, nothing. Like, these are the least qualified people to do the job they're supposed to be doing. Now, they're very qualified to do the job they're actually doing, which is lie. Anyway, let's continue. This is from the 19th. Breaking: President Trump just floated prosecuting Obama and his thugs. Well, let's see. Donald J. Trump. Great job by young and talented Harrison Fields on Fox News. The panel was fantastic on prosecuting Obama and the thugs who have been unequivocally exposed on the highest level election fraud. Congratulations to Tulsi Gabbard. Keep it coming. I think he's very serious. Let's see. And more information is going to keep coming out. It's a lot worse. The declassified email shows that Susan Rice noted Obama and Comey agreeing to hide Russia hoax investigation from President Trump's national security advisor, General Flynn. That's right. We read this one yesterday, actually. Director Comey affirmed that he is proceeding by the book as it relates to law enforcement. From a national security perspective, Comey said he does have some concerns that incoming NSA Flynn is speaking frequently with Russian Ambassador Kislyak. Comey said that could be an issue as it relates to sharing sensitive information. President Obama asked if Comey was saying that the NSC should not pass sensitive information related to Russia to Flynn. Comey replied, potentially. He added that he had no indication thus far that Flynn had passed classified information to Kislyak, but he noticed that the level of communication is unusual. Isn't that all very convenient? So this is obviously going to continue, and the question is, how far does it go? Does the Trump administration go as far as the Biden administration? Now, the advantage that the Trump administration has is that this is actually all real. So this is all real. Like, they'll be acting on reality, right? And the cases will be an accurate description of reality. I think so. I think that's where it's going. Let's take a look at what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see. Fanbot says, not hammered, not getting hammered, a sipping whiskey. That's the way to do it. You don't want to feel terrible tomorrow. I'll sip a cask strength single malt. There you go. Nice. All right. Let's see. Mickey had ribeye and red wine for dinner tonight. Well, isn't that nice? That's lovely. Let's see. I can't even remember. I had a homemade burrito. Let's see. Rosie says, please do not play Maria B's voice. Just read her comments. I did. Let's see. Current lefties are commies in most cases. They don't realize what they are. There are so many people that they think of themselves as liberal. They call themselves liberal. Say, I'm a liberal because I have compassion or something. They're not liberals, though, right? They're authoritarian leftists. They are radical, far left radicals. Like, if you actually interrogate what they believe in, like if you talk to them about free speech, they're all in favor of hate speech laws, and hate speech is just whatever they don't like. Yeah, they're not liberals. Like, a real liberal still likes capitalism, like free markets, that sort of thing. These people aren't liberals. Current lefties are commies in most cases. Yes, they are. They just don't know it. They don't know anything. They don't know anything about history. They're totally historically illiterate. They have absolutely no perspective whatsoever. It just sounds nice, and they on the TV they call them liberals. They're not. By the way, one thing I noticed is that I was looking at my comments on YouTube earlier, and what was the video? I put out like 3 videos, and I was talking about it was one about Canadian media bias, and and I can't remember what it was. The title was something like I don't referring to Canadian media as biased and whatever. And the comment was, don't call them biased. They are far left, blah, 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 blah. And my immediate thought was, okay, that's why I said, this was NPR. Sorry, it was NPR. NPR being defunded. That's what the video was about. And my immediate thought was, well, that's why I called Catherine Marr, the CEO of NPR, a commie. Right? That's why I call her a commie. I didn't just say she's biased. I said actual commie. And then, of course, you realize the person has not watched the video. The person has never watched a second of my content, and has just looked at the at the title of the video and then just decided to be, self-righteous in my comment section. So the lesson is never comment on a video unless you've actually, I know you guys don't do it, but the thing is, it's one thing that does irritate me. Never comment on a video unless you actually watched the video. I see so many of these, and it's not just lefties, right? It's people who I guess think that I'm not right-wing enough or something. They don't watch the video. They just go off the title and then spew their fucking garbage into my comment section, and it's irritating. I don't let it bother me too much because you'd go insane if you did. But occasionally one nettles me a little bit, and that one nettled me a little bit. I call her an actual communist in the video, right? Like, it's irritating to me, I have to say. Usually it's water off a duck's back, but occasionally I'll see one and it will nettle me because somebody who just hasn't bothered to watch 1 second of the content is just go. What is even the point in that, by the way? What is the point in that? Does anybody do that? Do you guys do that? Does anybody just go to people's YouTube videos, looks at the title, and then criticizes it based on the title without having watched it at all? Like, who does that? I mean, isn't that just a complete waste of time? Who has that kind of time to waste? It's irritating. Wouldn't you feel like kind of an idiot? Like when people who've actually watched the video look at your comment and go, this guy didn't watch it. This is just an idiot. Like, why would somebody do that? Like, it's just an utter and total waste of time. You didn't pass my purity test because I don't know what you said. Like, what? What? I have no idea what the video's actually about or what you said in it, but it doesn't pass my purity test. What is even the point in this? I don't get it. Are there just these people that like their attention span is so short now that they literally can't go further than the title of a video? Like their attention span is so short, they can't even bring themselves to watch the video or the first 5 seconds anymore. They can't go any further than the title of the video. That's too much for them. Probably can't even get to the end of the title of the video, just like the first 3 words. And if that doesn't please them, they're going to let you know about it. Is that what's happening? Attention spans are so short now that... Is this the future of videos? That you don't even post a video? It's just titles. Is that it? You just post 50 titles a day, and then people can comment on it in the comment section and tell you how you're not whatever enough. Anyway, it's irritating. Anyway, I won't let it bother me again. Normally this stuff is water off a duck's back. I know it's not you guys. But every once in a while, one nettles me and I have to have a rant. All right. Let's see. Rosie says, great graphics, looks prosecutable to me. I am not a lawyer either. Well, yeah, I mean, because the thing is, words like treason, insurrection, like they're specific words, right, that have specific legal meanings. So I don't know, but it seems like there's lying involved. Obviously, lying, like contempt of Congress, absolutely 100%. So that is prosecutable. Let's see. Spambot, my whiskey selection, cask strength, 19-year-old, Glengoyne single. Are you trying to get me to drink again? I'm not reading this. Let's see. Mickey says, had too much gravy on my haggis once and can't drink scotch anymore. That doesn't sound like a good combination. Okay, I'm just going to go past all of the whiskey talk. Rosie says, this is interesting. May have shared before. I don't think you have shared this. We were in Atlanta, CNN hotel on election night. We could see the employees scampering about and their disappointment as election results were broadcast. We toured CNN the next day. Well, that's not a big surprise, is it? But it's interesting. Very solemn atmosphere, she says. I bet. Let's see. You guys are just talking about. I'm going to skip past all the stuff where you're talking about drinking. Let's see. Radio streamer says copy paste commie keyboard warriors and bots. They do it in chat now too. You'll notice the same 12 talking points on any streams. They get enough people. They're only here to stop our success. Yeah, there's that. We haven't actually had any of that on the live stream for ages, and that's good. That stopped after the U.S. election, which is, I'm sure, not a surprise. I think there was a little bit before the Canadian election too, but not as much. Rosie says, commie non-watched video comments rant 10 out of 10. Well, thank you, Rosie. 10 out of 10. That's almost the most you can get out of 10, I think. Let's see. All right. Trudeau Survivor says, James Comey finding out he was fired by reading the television bottom third was meant. Did that happen? I'm trying to think back now. I think my brain just starts erasing things. Like it goes back like 5 years and then it just starts erasing things. All right, because it's broken. Because it's broken. Let's see what's going on now. Let's go look at some random stuff for a minute. Should we take a look at Stephen Colbert? His show just being fully canceled. It's not even that he's being replaced. His show is just gone. They're just ditching the entire thing. Apparently, it was losing $40 million a year. It was a $100 million budget, and it had 200 staff writers. Can you believe that? They needed 200 writers to come up with the vaccine. So who was paying the writers? Was it him or was it like the pharmaceutical companies? 200 writers to say Orange Man bad every night and not even have it be funny. I mean, there's only so many times you can tell the jokes. There's just any joke. There's only so many times you can say it before it stops becoming funny. But I mean, really, they just dragged that out, halved the viewership. I believe he still had actually the highest of, whoever's still on. I guess Kimmel's on. Is Fallon still on? But it was not making money is the problem. So it wasn't enough. Losing $40 million a year, and they decided, let's just get rid of the whole damn thing. We're trying to sell this network anyway. Let's take a look at what they're saying here on CNN.
And that is, when you do a show that attacks half of America every night and you don't have conservatives on, and by the way, you're not funny, but attacking half of America and your ratings suck, you might lose your show.
There's a lot of reasons why the Colbert ratings are not working out that have nothing to do with the political divide you're talking about.
But it's constant. He's having on Democrats to trash Trump. He has constantly been trashing conservatives. He referred to Donald Trump as a Nazi lover in 2017.
You said that does make half of the country happy.
Right,
you don't need to have the country. But you don't need to have the whole country watching your show. You only need half the country. That's a great show.
The problem is
you only need half the country. That's a great show. No, apparently not. Like, what part of reality don't you understand here? The show's been completely canceled. So apparently alienating half of your audience actually isn't a good plan, even if CNN mindless talking bot thinks so.
Anymore. Why
Who's the number one?
Listen, by the way, why Shane Gillis?
Listen. Here's the corollary to what you're saying. Like the other side of it is that, there are shows that I will not name that spend half their time attacking liberals or all their time attacking liberals.
That's one thing.
All their time attacking liberals. And it doesn't have any impact on their ratings whatsoever.
So she's talking about Gutfeld there, who's dominating in the ratings. And because there's not 4 Gutfelds, 3 or 4, however many there are late night people there are now. There's just one of them. And he's also totally open about it. He doesn't pretend to be objective. He says, they're very openly biased, and that's fine. Anybody, like, I'm very openly biased, right? It's fine if somebody is not pretending to be objective. But again, there's only one Gutfeld, so he's getting all of that audience. They're trying to share their half of the public, of the viewership between each other, and that's what's getting them into trouble. Maybe the ratings will improve for Kimmel and Fallon and whoever else is still on. I don't know. But let's continue.
He hates guys like us.
So to Ray's point, I don't necessarily think that's really on the ratings front. I don't really
Are his
think
ratings
that's
good?
really what
Are his
matters.
ratings good?
But
They're dismal. He's
getting
getting by a cable news late night show. Let's be clear about that.
The real problem is more like Netflix and the reasons what the democratization of the entire television landscape. There are so many more options for people to watch. That's going to cut into
and that can be part of it. But let's go back to, you have a guy that does a show that's funnier on cable that gets bigger ratings, and they had warnings.
That's extremely debatable.
No, it's not. It's not debatable.
He's
He's number one. He's
Listen,
number one.
The funny part is what I'm talking about.
Well, but you don't maybe like him because he actually
and listen,
laughs with us.
The reason I say it's debatable is because every human being in the United States of America has a right to decide what they find is funny. And if half of America likes Colbert and half of America likes Gutfeld, that's fine in the United States of America.
I'm okay with that.
Like, that's okay.
But my point is, the reason why it got canceled is because he was no longer funny and he was attacked.
For one thing, they don't believe that everybody has the right to find whatever they think is funny. No, I mean, they fully have bought into the DEI, the kind of race Marxism, that everybody has a designated ideology or even just sense of humor based on identity, based on skin color or sexuality. CNN is 1,000% with that. So they don't actually think that anybody has a right to find whatever's funny that they think is funny.
That's not what's going on at all. Look, we are.
Then why is the show getting canceled?
I just explained. We are witnessing the end of an American television institution. It doesn't make enough money.
Another one is growing.
Colbert will forever be known as the person who frittered away David Letterman's legacy, which is something. But may I bring everyone together? I think you're both right. I think your conversation about the television model is correct. I think your points about the conservative, anti-conservative bent is correct. But I would just submit this is not even the most important media story of the day. They're voting right now on the House floor to defund PBS and NPR. And to me, late night shows going away versus what the Republicans are finally doing after all these years, it might actually be a more important story than all the people who are in mourning over Stephen Colbert, which
Well, that's a good point there, right? Because as far as anybody knows, the public wasn't actually funding, like tax dollars weren't actually funding the Colbert Report, the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. But maybe, I mean, who Rosie said, yeah, USAID and Big Farm probably pay. Well, Big Pharma through ads, definitely. USAID, who knows? Maybe they were getting some money from that. Who knows? I haven't seen any evidence of that. You have to think they would have turned that up by now if it was, but maybe. Who knows? From Maze Moore, a beautiful 4-part story. You may have seen this already, but this is actually quite delicious. Let's take a look.
Donald Trump has been sworn in as president of the United States. I know. Listen, we're just as confused as you are. Joe Biden did it. I sat down and just started crying with relief. And Evie said, you never have to talk about him again. And then I cried with joy.
Just going to interrupt for 1 second. So this is the mind virus here, right? That's the woke mind virus there. His brain has been parasitized by an idea pathogen. Like, he means that. You can tell he means it. He's not acting there. He means that. No self-respecting man would ever get on television. No man with free will or agency would ever get on television and say that. Absolutely not. This is the idea pathogen in action. This is the mind virus in action. This is what it will do to you if you allow it to invade your brain. It will turn you into this pathetic, craven creature. And I'm not being facetious. I mean every word of it. This man is now a zombie.
After a bizarre and vicious campaign fueled by a desperate need not to go to jail, Donald Trump has won the 2024 election. Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. Donald Trump.
Not even because he's this woke mind virus hack now. It just wasn't funny. Like, it just wasn't good. I think it was just hurting like culture by just how bad it was, by the not even mediocre, just awful and boring. Let's see. I mean, what's the highlight of his time? Hold on one second. What's the highlight of his time? Let me just pull something up quickly, which I don't think I had. Hold on. 1 second. Should be right up. Should be popping right up. Let's see. I think this is it here. Let's see. In the summer of 2020, Stephen Colbert aired a sketch warning people to be skeptical of the jabs and Big Pharma. 11 months later, Colbert was dancing for the vaccine. Isn't this interesting? July 2020. Let's see. So that's when Trump was president.
Medication proven to reduce anxiety about Big Pharma taking advantage of you in a national crisis. You can trust Vaxilax because
Big Pharma taking advantage of you in a national crisis? What? Hold on.
its mascot, Professor Cashington, the ethical money sack.
Side effects of Vaxilax include legless rest syndrome, kidney rhinestones, crumblefoot, spontaneous beard sparrows, the galloping hoop sticks, spinal crunch wrapping, Ferdinand's flopsy, big old pink face, Gordon's fisherman syndrome, scrotal yodas, chronic vaccine resistance, facial graham crackering, full-blown coronavirus, and dollar bills, y'all.
The vaccine.
So this is less than a year later. So it went from, in less than under a year, it went from, let's see, Vaxilax, Professor Cashington, to the vaccine, him dancing. This is a great example of the media trying to make you think that you're going insane, right? And I've said this before. Everything about that period made me feel like I was losing my mind, right? Like, it went from overnight. So you had this when it was Trump and Operation Warp Speed, right? So it was totally against it. I'm not taking that. That was very common. That was the narrative across the Democrat landscape. The left wing environment, which, by the way, was right. Just they weren't right for the right reason. They were right because Orange Man bad. But it was actually right? And then, of course, as soon as Biden is in, the first second it's vaccine, and you're crazy if you don't want to take this thing. If you had before, like the day before anybody had heard of COVID, you had said, you'd gone on his show, and said, you know what, I want to say something. I think this whole long-term trial thing for medicines, for medications, new medical technology, that is crazy. Anybody who thinks you need to do long-term trials on new medications is totally crazy, is racist, or some sort of phobe and a fascist or something. Stephen Colbert would have laughed him off the stage. He would have attacked him, would have said, what are you talking about? That's insane. Because that used to be normal. Distrust used to be normal, right? It didn't just start with, now they don't let, it wasn't just they started being distrustful because of Operation Warp Speed or whatever. That was a normal thing. So yes, my point being that if you had, the second before anybody had heard of COVID, you had said you need to just get rid of long-term trials for medicines. It's crazy that only racists want to do that, want long-term trials. You would have been laughed off the stage. And like that, the second that Biden got into office, it was, if you think that there should be long-term trials, that those are necessary, you're a racist, blah, 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 phobe, fascist, far-right, conspiracy theorist. Just like that, overnight. It happened overnight. Overnight. This thing that just everybody agreed is obviously perfectly reasonable and necessary long-term medical trials for new medicines before you try to give it to literally every single person in the world. This thing that everybody, you could just ask people on the street, everybody would say, of course you need to do trials on these things. You wouldn't want to just give a new medicine that you don't know what's going to happen long-term with it to just every person in the planet. That's insane. Everybody would have said that. It went from that to overnight. No, you're actually insane if you think that you do need those trials, that you do need to be cautious. Only fascists are cautious when it comes to pharmaceutical companies and new medications, new medicines, new medical technology. Only racists care about that. I mean, I thought I was losing my mind. I was like, how can this be? How can these people on TV be saying these things? It's totally crazy. And just so obvious and so transparent. I mean, we're talking literally about just the standard for decades that just suddenly went completely out of the window, and you're a crazy person if you supported the thing which had been obvious and just a standard for decades. If you didn't accept that just overnight, it doesn't matter anymore. I mean, how can you not feel like you're losing your mind when you see this happening? Just something just so obviously fake and manufactured. Just such obvious manipulation and just lies. How can you look at that and not go, wait a second, am I nuts? Because it seems like everybody else is fine with this. But it just can't be real, right? Like that can't be okay. It can't be okay to just get rid of long-term trials for new medicines. Like, do people not know about like thalidomide, right? Like really bad things can happen. It can't be real that they're telling us that it doesn't matter anymore and everybody in the world has to get it. That can't be real. What universe is that real in? What universe where you just wake up one day and long-term medical trials for new medication, for new medical technology is just this crazy pie-in-the-sky thing, this just ridiculous thing that only an idiot, only some uneducated rube would be concerned with. Just overnight. Oh, and by the way, you have to get this new medical technology, and so does every living person on the planet. It just staggers me. I mean, the news moves on so quickly, right? Sometimes you've just got to stop and smell the shit and just remember, wait a second, all this stuff actually happened. And it's still crazy, and it's still insane, and it's still baffling that so many people just went along with it. Anyway, but here he is. He was, I mean, when I talk about no agency, when I talk about woke zombie, when I talk about losing your free will, your agency, this is what I'm talking about. And I don't think he was faking it. I think that this was all, he meant this, he meant the top part, and he also meant the bottom part just as much, and it didn't faze him at all, because it didn't matter. All that mattered was spreading the mind virus. That's it. Let's see. What are you guys saying? Let's go over here for a second. I need to cool down after that rant. They are very complete, those engines. There's no question about it.
They are very complete. I hope you can take them. They are very complete. Many engines in my factory. What are you thinking?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I could make a little room in the garage or something. I don't know. I mean, how many engines you got there? You said they're complete, right? Are they're very complete?
Engine in my factory. If you need many engines.
Hold on a second. Is that a factory? Wait a second. This is starting to, it's not a factory. It's a warehouse. So if she's lying about that being a factory, what else is she lying about? I'm starting to wonder now. Is she connected to the Chinese Communist Party? Has she had any involvement in Canadian elections? I don't know. Let's watch a bit more.
You can find the bay. Don't hurt me.
Well, obviously, I'm not going to do it. Like, emotionally, for one thing, I'm very, very tender. So you don't have to worry about that for a second.
Don't lie to me. They are very complete. They are very pretty. Many engines in.
Well, now she's saying that they're pretty. I mean, they're not really pretty. I mean, maybe, I guess it's subjective, I guess, but I don't know. It seems like a poor choice of words. Let's continue.
My factory, what are you thinking? Why have you come to me? Please believe me.
Well, you're in China. I mean, it's not like you're going across the strait, right? And I'm going to be honest with you right now, auto parts store, Tina. I don't actually even need an engine. I'm just fascinated with you. But all right, I do believe you. Of course I believe you. I could never disbelieve you.
Please choose me. They are very complete.
She's saying it's a factory, but it's clearly just a warehouse. She's saying the engines are very complete. I'm taking a look at some of these engines. They're not looking in the best shape, I've got to say. Now I'm starting to question how complete these engines really are.
I hope you can take them. They are very complete. Many engines in my factory. What are you thinking?
Do you know what? I'm canceling my tickets to China. I'm canceling them right now. I'm not sure about this anymore. I'm just not certain. We're going to move on to something else. Let's see. Let's go all the way to the bottom, because there's probably some here we've neglected. Oh, hey. How's it going? You're really good at standing. Yeah. She's very good at standing. I wonder if she doesn't talk at all. She might be a deaf mute. No. The perfect woman doesn't exist. Uh-oh. Did I say the perfect woman doesn't exist? You got to be kidding me. This woman can fix a knife handle. Just pretty handy. That could save your life in the apocalypse. All right, what are you guys talking about? Actually, before we get to you guys, what's going on here? What is going on here? Oh, dear. We should probably get to this. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. It's very complete. The 1775 starter kit has just dropped. Only 1,000 very complete units. That's not that many. I would move fast if I were you. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits harder than a auto parts store Tina fact check. The smooth medium roast and the vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus. No crash, no commies. All single origin, small batch, toxin free. We don't like toxins, and mold free. Mold is gross in your coffee. Plus, you're also getting, guess what? You're going to get a gold spoon clip. Gold spoon clip, because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. Everybody knows that. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions. Uh-oh, that could be trouble. And a black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a wokesy witch. And I don't care how complete her engines are. $170 worth of coffee and gear. Yours for $99. Can that be real? That's under $100, folks. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble. We all been doing that, haven't we? Wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, it is. How did you not know that? Go to 1775coffee.com. That's 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. And they're going fast. Do you know why? Not only is it very complete, it's also got bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. I think we're talking about free speech there, folks. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe, and most importantly, don't be a commie. What the hell happened there? What the hell happened there? That was the glitch, but it was like way too early. What's going on? Are you guys still there? What the heck happened? What the hell happened there? Can you guys hear me again now? No trying to trick me, Rosie. Can you guys hear me? Somebody say that if they can hear me or not. That was weird. That was way too early for a glitch. That was strange. All right. Let's see. What's going on? Nevada says, can anyone hear? Are you guys messing with me? Are you guys messing with me? I don't. Rosie's saying what happened. You know what? I know what I can do. Hold on. I don't have to play this game. I can just see if it's working on the stream. There we go. It's working. So you tried to trick me and it didn't work. Didn't work. See, it's because I'm too smart for you guys. You guys think you're smart, and some of you are smart, but you're not as smart as me. You're not as fast as me. Not as fast off the mark as I am, as Radio Baloney. I'm the top dog. I'm the smartest. I'm the fastest. I'm the most cunning. So I know. Spambot says, audio never glitched for me. Well, thank you, Spambot. See, an honest man, finally. Let's see. Nevada says, oh, there it is. You're back, Richie. All right. Tried to trick me. Didn't work. I'm too smart. I'm too fast. Let's see. Radio Streamer says, glitch mid-ad. Those damn commies. 10 out of 10 for fighting those damn commie hackers trying to stop your freedom spreading. That's what it is. It's commie hackers, isn't it? Thank you, Radio. There we go. All right. What else did we have? All right. Rosie says, great ad read. Even better with RB on phone and computer. Fantastic. Gives reverb. Nice. That's a new thing. Commie hate 1776 out of 1775. That's the most out of 1775 you can get, by the way. Thank you, Rosie. All right. Trying to trick me. Nice try. Try again. Let's see. Rosie says, I have tests that say I am smart. How much can you trust test? I don't know. I guess it's who gives you the test, I guess. Let's see. All right. Nevada says, I trust tests about as much as the government. Well, you can never go wrong distrusting the government. All right. Now what am I doing? All right. We did the Russia stuff. Let's go here. So, Steve Paikin, the Paikin podcast. He is like an interviewer on TVO, which is like an Ontario TV station. He has a show. He's kind of, a middle of the road guy. I don't think he's himself is super biased. I think he attempts to be, objective where he can be. But here he's doing an interview with Danielle Smith, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith, and talking about anti-conservative bias in Canada, the CBC, and Travis Travis Donraj, who is a guy who had a show on CBC and who quit because of bias there, political bias on the CBC. And he has, there will be more coming from him. He's promised to reveal more about his experience at the CBC. But here is Danielle Smith, who I think is the best premier in Canada. I think probably by far. And I think would make a fine federal conservative leader. I like her a lot. Let's listen.
Do you believe the institutions of this country, the courts, the media, the public service, do they lean liberal and against conservatives, generally speaking?
Well, I think CBC just demonstrated that in spades. They just had a major broadcaster quit with exactly that same Travis Danraj, I think.
Yeah, that's the allegation.
And he argued that he wasn't allowed to have the full range of.
By the way, he wasn't the first one. There's been several before him, but obviously the media, the corporate media in Canada doesn't have a big interest in amplifying that themselves, but he's not the first.
Perspective being represented. We just had that happen recently with CBC. In fact, I talked to my housing minister about it. One of the reporters was asking him about some of our stats, and we know that she contacted 12 people about our change in policy, didn't quote any of them because they agreed with us, and she went out of province to quote somebody who would criticize us. So I see that over and over and over again. So I think part of the reason why the decline in the mainstream media and the rise of alternative media is because for some reason they decided they didn't want conservative voices and didn't want conservative viewers.
It's because they're modern leftists. And they're authoritarian, and they don't want public dissent from their beliefs. These are modern leftists. This isn't your old burnout art teacher from the 80s. These are the new left now, right? And they're not for free speech. They're not for conversation. They are for you do what they say. They are for you sit down and shut up and do what you're told. They are, by any means necessary people, right? Get Carney elected by any means necessary. That's what they are now. Danielle Smith is not us. Not one of us. So she must be defeated somehow. They must do everything they can to frame her in a negative light whenever possible, which is all the time. So really all this highlights is that the CBC is beyond remedy, and it just needs to be defunded, which is sad. I have a lot of great childhood memories of shows from the CBC, but they're just beyond it now. They need to just go away. It's not fixable at this point. It just needs to be gone. The age of publicly funded news in Canada is over. Publicly funded television content in Canada, the age of that is over. And I think all grants, everything should be gone. Because when you take a look at the grant system in Canada, it is just a cesspool of wokeness, DEI, all of that. The whole thing just needs to be scrapped. Just let the market take over. That's what I say. That's what I say. All right, let's continue. Where are we going next? Did we cover this last time? I can't remember. Did we do the corporate media in Canada wants to partner? We did. We did that last time. Okay. You know what, you guys? I need to take just a short break. So I will leave you with this educational video. Why isn't it playing? What the heck is going on? What is the problem here? What about this one up here? How about Goat Lady, the fence lady? I will leave you with this classic, and I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. I don't often take breaks during the streams anymore, but tonight I need to. All right, I'll be back in a couple of minutes, you guys. All right. Thanks for your patience, everybody. Anybody who's watching who's not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, become a member, do things like that. Also, like the stream. Like the stream. Extremely important. It's a big deal. Get your free good karma by liking the stream, subscribing to the channel. It's a pretty big deal. That's the first time I've had to take a break in it feels like months during a stream. I don't know what happened. I was thinking about this the other day. It's like my bladder grew 3 sizes or something, like the Grinch, but with piss, I guess. I don't know. But I guess it's shrunk again. So we're back to taking breaks. Let's see. Nevada says, bring back SCTV. You can't. You can never go home again. Let's see. SCTV and Seeing Things. What was Seeing Things? What was Seeing Things? Do you remember Bizarre? That was a good one. With what was his name? The guy who did Bizarre. That's where big Super Dave got his start, was on Bizarre. What was the guy's name who did Bizarre? It's just right there. I can't bring it up though. Let's see. Rosie says they do not mind public dissent. Just keep it to yourself. That is how much sense they make. I don't think they want you to even keep it to yourself, frankly. Let's see. Radio Streamer says, Commie's gonna CBC. I mean, Commie gonna Commie. Yeah, that's actually just as good, though. Commie got a CBC. They are. Nevada says they're stinking commies. Nevada says Smith is good. I agree. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Rosie asks, what is that behind the barn house? Outhouse? Still propane tank? I don't know. Let's take a look. I mean, that thing? Maybe propane tank? I don't know. She doesn't care because it's not a fence, and she loves the fences. Loves them. Let's see. I built a fence in front of my place just to see if she'd come by. Let's hang out on the fence. That's a lie. I didn't do that. Let's see. All right. What was the name of the guy who did Bizarre? Hold on. I'm going to have to look it up now. Where's that fact check? There we go. Fact check. I wonder if they've actually got something of it on X, maybe a clip. Let's see. Hold on. I'm not seeing anything here. No. Okay, hold on a sec. One more thing. Give me 1 second, guys. Canadian comedy series. Okay, here we go. Some of my Canadians in here are going to remember this. Let's see. What was his name? John Biner. John Biner. Let's see. Is he still around, I wonder? John Biner? Let's see. He's still around. He's 87 now. Wow. Okay. Let's see. John Biner. Maybe we'll find, hold on. I don't want to go on Facebook. Hold on. Give me a second. Maybe, hold on. Let's just have some fun with this. How is it spelled again? John Fine. Oh, there we go. Okay. John Biner. Let's see if I can bring something up here. Really? There's nothing on X? Oh, what's this? Okay, here we go. Big Ten, song is okay, but was that John Biner from Bizarre? Loved that show as a 10-year-old. Me too. Help mold my mind of today. John, there he is. You guys must remember. This is where Super Dave Osborne got his start. Let's see. Is there any clips of him on here? What's this here? Hilarious Bob Einstein with host Jeff Samet and Bizarre co-star John Biner. All right, let's take a look.
Remembering Bob Einstein with John Biner.
He announced to me that he was going to do this Super Dave Osborne. The thing wasn't my...
Let's see. Are there any actual clips in here, though? No, nothing. I'm willing to get copyrighted for this. Let's see. Bizarre. This must ring a few bells, this show. Let's see. Because Americans close to the, by the Canadian border would have gotten this as well. Let's see. No, that's not it. Oh, well, maybe later on we'll go on YouTube, see if we can find some clips of Bizarre. Super Dave. Oh, what's this? The Bigot Family. The Bigot Family. Oh, this was classic. Hold on one second. This was a classic. I remember this. So it was like a multi-ethnic family, and they're all bigots. All right, we're going to watch this. We have to watch this. I remember howling with laughter as a kid.
Thank you very much. If anybody were to walk up to me on the street and say, "What don't you like?" I'd tell that person that I don't like people that don't like other people. I think they're better than other people. We've got a bunch of people like that here today who think they're better than other people. We call them the Bigot Family, and we hope you hate them.
Following segment mixes ignorance, stupidity, arrogance, and bad taste. That's right, it's time for the Bigot Family. And here's the most tasteless member of the family, Mr. Bigot.
Okay, how are you? May a 400-pound leprechaun step on your bloody stones.
That's right. They're all stereotypes. Okay.
That's me, the Italian son. You know, when I want to grease my car, I just run the car right over him. Slippery when dry. Now, let's meet my Polish wife. You know, we got married. Instead of giving her a shower, our friends gave her a bath. Let's meet my black brother-in-law. You know, he doesn't need a chair. I just went stick him to the wall. Now meet my Mexican nephew, you know. He got his finger broken the other day. Someone punched him in the nose. Rough but true.
All right, that's enough demonetization for today. How did we get on this, by the way? Bizarre, the show Bizarre? How did we get on that? I can't remember. But I definitely just lost the 3 cents I was going to make on this stream on YouTube. So, oh well. I guess I'll just have to live with that. What are you guys saying here? Hold on a second. Back to Fence Lady. I want to see what you guys say. Let's see. Let's see. Rosie asked Eugene Levy. Well, that was SCTV. And he was very good on that. They were all great. They're all fantastic. Martin Scorsese. Let's see. Spambot says, what's so special about Super Dave Osborne? I used to howl at those when I was 10. When I was a kid, I would howl. It was hilarious. It's perfect 10-year-old humor. 10-year-old boy humor. Let's see. Spambot says, save it for premium stream. Maybe we'll dig up some classic Bizarre for the Rumble stream tomorrow. Let's see. And demonetized. Spambot says, yep, definitely. Streamer says, that is actually the first time I've seen that show. Used to love it when I was a kid. It was that and SCTV. Nevada says, someone tell Richie not to read the articles in those magazines. Which magazines? You definitely could not make that today. Streamer says, it's sad how much comedy is being killed, and I'm glad it's making a comeback. Exactly. I think there should be like something like The Purge. So there's like a day every year. Just get rid of like Pride and all that stuff. You just have one day a year where everybody gets to make fun of everybody else in any way that they like. One day. And I just think that would be like so, what's the word I'm looking for here? So cathartic for society. Just everybody's equal and everybody is an equal target for everybody else. I think that would be a massive day. I would call it the day of catharsis. If I were the emperor of the world, that would happen. In fact, I'd make it a week every year. Just everybody is equally a target of everybody else, just to be made fun of and mocked. I think that would be awesome. I think it would make the world a better place, and it would probably bring about world peace. Let's see. All right, let's Rosie says, sounds like bullying day. No, but it's everybody, and you have to take it, and you have to celebrate it. You have to say, that's a good one. It's not bullying day. So it's like the kid who would get bullied normally gets to do the same thing. He gets to tell the jokes and make fun of everybody else as well. And if you actually physically attacked anybody for making fun of you, then you go to jail. Right? It would have to be that way, I think.
Right to jail, right away.
It would have to be that way, and it would be a better world. What is going on with memes? What's going on here? Evolution is wild. Can't wait to see what's next. Probably a robot from Jebra Fauché. Well, let's see. 1525, 1725. Yeah, you see the evolution of the fashion, the culture. 1925, and then 2025. Just whatever that thing is. It feels like somewhere we went off the rails. We got onto the wrong path somewhere, didn't we? Let's see. I hate when that happens. When you're laughing at World War III memes and suddenly the sun comes out at 3 a.m. I also hate being vaporized at 3 a.m. Also hate that as well. It sucks. Let's see. Jaws Canada. What's that? It's a moose. Those things are dangerous, by the way. A moose will fuck you up hard. They get angry. At a certain time of year, they get angry. And they will mess with you. They will go out of their way. Does she even know? Anyway, I hope she was okay. Let's see. I took my side piece to the Coldplay concert, and it ruined my life. That's what you get for going to a Coldplay concert. Did nobody tell him? Whoa, Coldplay. No, I wouldn't go to that. I wouldn't go to that. Your life's going to get ruined. Doesn't matter what you do. It'll ruin your brain. It'll ruin your taste for music. You know, maybe we should go to that right now. Because we already did Colbert, didn't we? All right, he's done. I had this in here somewhere. Where is it? I think you guys sent me some stuff. So, okay, here we go. Nick Sortor, astronomer CEO. What's astronomer? Astronomer CEO Andy Byron has officially resigned after being caught cheating on his wife at a Coldplay concert. Coldplay concert. If I had been his friend, I would have told him, don't go to a Coldplay concert. Nothing good can happen. So dude's now lost his career, reputation, and probably his wife, plus half his net worth, all because he wanted to canoodle a coworker. Don't cheat, kids. Well, that's good advice. But so what happened? So there they are.
All right, come on. You're okay? Uh-oh. What? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay?
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Anyway, it's caught on. And now apparently everybody's doing it. What do you call it, I guess? The astronomer? This terrible thing happened, and then the world turned it into this wonderful thing. I would do it if I was at the ball game. 100%. Trudeau Survivor says, I'm surprised she's not 20. I'm surprised as well. Rosie says, CEO got caught on kiss cam with head of HR, not his wife, at a Coldplay concert. Somebody should, does he not have friends who care about him? No, Coldplay? No, I wouldn't do that. No, nothing good's going to happen. Nothing good is going to come from a Coldplay concert. Spambot says, peak music ended in 1989. I could not agree more. Spambot is dishing out that wisdom. Yeah. In fact, 1,000%. Let's see. We all would have been let's face it, we all would have been better off without Pearl Jam. Nobody can deny that. Spambot says, I've been too busy for meme updates. What is so special about Coldplay? It's just that they're terrible. They're just spiritually bad. Like the universe hates them. And you just shouldn't. It's kind of it's an affront to the universe, I would say. So Bad Uncle Frank says, how you doing, Bad Uncle Frank? Angry during the rutting season. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yes, the moose get really angry, and they will fuck you up hard. Let's see. Chef Rico, good to see you. All right, let's move on. Where are we now? Okay, so Coldplay. How about this one? Socialism is so great that people build boats out of trash to float away from it. See, that would tell you something, right? Like everybody knows that like Cubans build boats out of trash to try and literally float away from the socialism. So like, I don't know, it should click, shouldn't it? Shouldn't it just click with people like Western, like Canadian or American or British, whatever, socialists? Shouldn't it just click? They just see that and they just go, oh yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want to have to build a boat out of trash to float to another country to get away from the socialism. Yeah, no, let's not do that. Let's do the thing that's made, like the most successful, economic in regards to, human well-being societies that have ever existed, and it's not even close. Let's just keep doing that and not do the thing where we have to build boats out of trash to try and escape from it. You think it would just click with people, but it doesn't. It sure doesn't. Let's see. What's this? Which way Western woke? Let's see. 7-year-olds can choose their gender. 18-year-olds couldn't understand their student loans. Huh. When you think about it, it really does make you think, doesn't it? Really does make you think. Let's see. Maybe don't give 18-year-olds loans that they can't pay back, and also don't do weird medical, horrible, horrific, abominable medical experiments on children. How about both? Don't do both. All right. Swiss Town denies passport to Dutch vegan because she is too annoying, and that's the perfect reason. Perfect reason. Why is this woman wearing a cowbell? What part of too annoying was unclear? Yep, I wouldn't let her into my country either. She got exactly what she deserved for wearing that cowbell. Now what's going on? Okay, so look at some woke mind virus here. From Jebra Fauché again. Had to turn down a second interview because the LGBT alphabet vibes were off. They were off. Let's take a look.
I turned down a second interview.
All right, hold on a second. I've got a feeling that this is going to be some whining and some narcissism and self-righteousness. Let's take a look.
I turned down a second interview for a position because I shared that I am part of the LGBT plus community and I need to find a workplace that is LGBT plus friendly. I could tell immediately as soon as I brought it up to her, I was like, this is a big part of my identity. It's something that I'm not going to hide about myself. So I need to find a workplace that is LGBT plus friendly. And I could see the smile immediately fade from her face. And I was like, oh, shit. I turned down a second interview.
What I don't understand is second interview. So that must mean she got called back. I'm wondering, like, okay, so obviously she's saying here that the interviewer, their face dropped as soon as she heard her start on with her narcissistic rant about how everything must revolve around her at the work. If they hire her, the company now must be exclusively about catering to her needs and her narcissism. How did she get why did they call her back again? Like, I don't understand this. What part of hey, I'm a super narcissist that's going to make life miserable for everybody here and demand that the company, whatever it's doing before, is now about pleasing me and serving my narcissism. What part of that didn't they understand? How do you get a second interview after going through your little I'm the center of the universe rant? Doesn't make any sense to me at all. Let's see. Apparently that vid was too loud. Which one? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Chef Rico says, like any child that doesn't want something, an excuse not to work, more public assistance, please. Probably. Turn down audio for that clip. Which clip? This one here? Hold on.
Review for a position.
I think that's the normal volume for this one. Thing is, if I turn it down, then the next one that comes up, the volume will stay the same, and then it'll be too low. Let's see. Izzy says she didn't get a second interview. She's lying. I suspect so. How you doing, Izzy? How about not making your preference of friction all of what you or even slightly related to work? Yeah. Nobody's interested is the thing. But this again, how it must be a lie. Nobody would call this person back in for a second interview. No sane person would want to subject themselves and their staff to this every day. Radio Streamer says it's 3 times louder than you, but keeps me on my toes. Okay, so we'll do an experiment with the volume here. Bad Uncle Frank says no one cares what you suck, fuck, or talk. Really, it's the sort of thing that people used to keep to themselves, like when they were applying for a job, right? Or like at a parade, or when they were like teaching kindergarten, for instance. People used to kind of keep that stuff to themselves. And you know what? Everybody was totally cool with that. Totally cool with it. I guess everybody must have been fascists or something back then. All right. Let us move on. So with the next video clip we show, we will do a little vote on the volume. You guys can tell me what you think. So what's going on here? So regarding the Trump tariffs, Canada, how Canada's doing in our trade negotiations, Katie Simpson posted this. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is asked on Face the Nation whether free trade with Canada is dead. Quote, that's silly. We have a plan called USMCA, US-Mexico-Canada Agreement. virtually 75% of all goods coming from Mexico and Canada are already coming tariff-free. The president said, look, unless you stop the fentanyl and close the border, we're just going to keep tariffs on the other 25%. So don't be confused about it. The president understands that we need to open the markets. Canada is not open to us. They need to open their market. Unless they're willing to open their market, they're going to pay a tariff. That's the simple message the president has. So part of the problem in Canada is that obviously our media here does not inform the public, right? Even with the auto tariffs, right? I made a video. You know how I figured out what they'd actually be is I went to the Trump administration website and read their page on it. The tariffs on the auto industry were on non-USMCA compliant parts. It's not just a car and then you put a 25% tariff on it. No. It's just like Chinese parts say. Most of the parts in the cars are already USMCA compliant. So I managed, with the help of Grok and actually just looking at the actual trade policy, to figure out that it was about actually an effective 3 to, at the very top, maybe 11% tariff, with 3 being the lowest possibility for a tariff on a car, right? But the media never did this. The media didn't. They just sell 25% on cars. Is it just intentional lying, intentional are they being intentionally misleading? Are they just not interested, totally incurious, just don't care, incapable of figuring it out themselves? I don't know. But in any case, Rupa Subramanya has commented on this. This week in Canada, Trump sparks a 3-alarm fire for Canadian manufacturers. Canada's anti-terrorist chief stands up for a suspected terrorist. That's how insane Canada is. Not so crazy talk about invasion and much more, brought to you by Rupa Subramanya. So here she comments. Rupa Subramanya, a Canadian journalist. Lutnick is right. Most Canadians, including journalists, don't seem to get that 90% of Canada's exports to the U.S. fall under USMCA and are therefore tariff-free, except for the sectoral tariffs on steel and aluminum, which are obviously bad. Compared to other countries, Canada still has good access to the U.S. market, and hopefully Carney will get these sectoral tariffs reduced. He's not got anything done so far. All right, let's move on from that. So that's the state of things here. Meanwhile, Trump is signing deals with like Indonesia, the UK. Canada's right next door. There is absolutely no excuse to not have something, like any progress, like just something, anything. All right. Now what's going on? What's going on with the ad reads? I wonder. Oh, here's something exciting. This sponsorship is from Rumble, one that is incredibly complete and important to the survival of the company. When Rumble first started at 2013, they built the platform for the small creator. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one thought platforms would censor political conversation or censor opinions on COVID. Oh, but they did. Facebook, some people call them Wokebook, admitted they fell to pressure from the Biden and Harris communist administration. Rumble did not. They held the line. They were attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to you. They were attacked in corporate media. They were attacked by governments like France. I call them cheese commies. They were attacked from brand advertisers who refused to work with them. Oh, poor babies. Corporate America is fighting to remove speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. And it's very complete. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much of it. What's wrong with those people? Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight, and if you're not a communist, and if you have the means, One major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. I did it myself, and I'm telling you right now, it was the happiest day of my life. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment. That's the most important one, and believes in our human right to free speech. It's the most important right. Without that, you got nothings. Rumble is offering $10 off with the promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. That's going to make the commies cry. Go to rumble.com/premium, rumble.com/premium, and use promo code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means and believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we're just happy if you watch us here on Rumble. But every time you join, though, a communist cries. All right, what the hell is going on? So now we're getting a glitch after every ad read? Is that what's happening? So now the glitches are just after the ad reads? Because that wasn't at the normal glitch time either. Normally the glitch is between 2 hours and 2 hours and 20 minutes in. And then like later after that as well at some point, like 4 hours in. What's going on? Is there something happening with the glitches now seem to be tied? This is very mysterious. The glitches now seem to be tied to the ad reads. So when you finish the ad read, it's a glitch time. That's very weird. I'm not understanding that at all. So it's new glitch behavior on the stream. Strange. It's evolved. Izzy says, wow, second glitch during an ad. Exactly. Spambot, another glitch. Chef Rico, no glitch on Rumble. No, it was on Rumble. It was definitely on Rumble. Reader Streamer says, wait, a place to stream freedom-loving content and support with your money or content of your own. 9.8 out of 10 acceptable levels of commie hate. Wait, another commie hacker? Revised rating, 10 out of 10. That's almost the most out of 10 you can get. Thank you, Radio. All right. So, yeah, the glitch now seems to be tied to the ad reads. It's evolved. It's turning into something new. It's kind of freaky, actually. I don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of frightened, I got to be honest. I don't know what the glitch is going to do. All right, well, I guess we'll just keep going and find out. Let's see. Andy Lee from The Real Andy Lee Show. She's always finding insane wastes of money from the Canadian government. She's saying that we paid $20 million to integrate refugees in Germany. Aside from the fact that it seems like a really mean thing to do to Germany, why? How is this any of our business? How is integrating refugees into Germany any of Canada's business? I say it's not any part of our business. It should have nothing to do with us. We should have nothing to do with it. Germany can deal with its refugee problem itself. And if it insists on constantly taking in refugees, that's a Germany problem. Training and professional integration of refugees, internally displaced persons, and vulnerable individuals, being all those military-age men that are going into your country. Let's see. Providing instructors with training on the nonviolent, gender-responsive management of conflicts. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. They've been trying that for a while now, and it doesn't seem to be getting anywhere. Not by their crime statistics, anyway. Let's see. What's this? Imagine getting $250,000 from taxpayers to form a committee to figure out how to write funding proposals using woke buzzwords to keep on getting government grants from taxpayers. Don't tell me we can't cut spending. You would think anything like this, Mark Carney would insist go past his desk to like personally okay or say, no, we can't waste money on that. Maybe it does. And he just sees this stuff and says, oh, yeah, this seems like a great idea. This is totally not a complete waste of money. Sure. Vancouver grant writing, funding sources, financial sustainability, and private sector funding partnerships projects. It will address how the organization develops financial sustainability. stealing money from taxpayers, I guess. The project will include developing and putting in place HR processes. Those are always great. HR processes. Isn't that just the solution to everything? And systems to hire grants committee members, creating a grants committee that will research, learn, and develop resources on how to find and write funding proposals and how to develop other financial sustainability options and funding partnerships. All of this just to steal money from the taxpayers. I don't know. I don't know if this will suffice, though. I think that they need to do this to then form a committee to, what are they doing again? To write a funding proposal to do this and just make it a cool $500,000. So this just seems like a make work thing for otherwise unemployable people is what it seems like to me. So, sure. Let's see. Some moron in our government read this proposal and decided it was a worthy cause. You want to form a grant writing committee to leech off taxpayers in perpetuity? Approved. Wow. Let's see. What do we got here? What's this? You all donated $45 million to a nonprofit in London last year to promote gender-responsive investments in infrastructure. Gender-responsive investments in infrastructure. What does that mean? By providing targeted technical assistance to support gender lens investments and document and share lessons learned on gender and infrastructure. So I think what this means is waste a bunch of money by giving it to anybody but white men. Waste a bunch of money giving it to, I guess, activists promoting gender responsive investments in what does that, how can this be? Is there any way that this isn't dysfunction? Is there any way this isn't woke dysfunction? Is there any way this could do anything useful in the real world at all? I'm going to say no. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say no. Support gender lens investments. So that just, anything like this just means no men. But now especially it also means no white men. So they put that in there to make sure no white men are getting anything. No men, but specifically really no white men. Increase opportunities for women in existing infrastructure investments. I don't know. Are women even really interested in that? Like nobody ever seems to ask. So here we go. Yeah. So this is just the latest stuff. I bet you thought this woke nonsense ended with Trudeau. Well, I didn't think that. I made a video saying that Mark Carney was full woke, and he's just as bad as Trudeau. Wrong. The Carney government has earmarked $6.5 million in taxpayer money for the Republic of Moldova for an initiative to enhance climate resilience and promote gender equality. What does any of them? You know what that means? It means that we're going to send $6.5 million over there, and it's going to disappear and probably be spent on expensive cars or something, maybe gambling, prostitution. That's what it means. It's all just total lunacy, is it not? All right, let me get back to the chat for a second. Let's see. Radio Streamer makes a great point here. I bet the glitch was captured in the wild, probably in China, probably Wuhan, and released in a wet computer market after being modified and accidentally being carried out of the lab in a cell phone. So irresponsible. That's a crazy conspiracy theory. Absolutely 100% true. I can feel it. Let's see. Izzy says, Canadian government wastes money. That can't be true. The media told me so. Of course they did. Let's see. I think this glitch captured in the wild thing, this has to go into the classics. Radio Baloney Live chat classics. I think that's a good one. How do we preserve these for posterity, for future generations? That's a good one. Let's see. Chef Rico asks a really important question here. I'm feeling vulnerable. Do I get free shit in Germany? Of course you do. Wait a second. You're not a white male, right? Because then no, nothing. Let's see. Let's see. Radio Streamer says, a lab in the CCP named our Glitch Research Lab? Very suspicious. Is there? Is there? I think there probably is. It was from a wild Nokia. I think a wild Nokia coughed on my computer. God damn it. It all makes sense now, Streamer says. Wild Nokia. You guys are on fire tonight. I'm loving this. Let's see. Streamer says, there are still lots of those in India. I bet they got it from there. Possibly. It went from a wild Chinese Nokia, coughed on another phone, and it went to India first. I don't know. Let's see. What's happening in Italy? Izzy says, funny, I read that as money laundering and kickbacks. Yeah, I think at this point you can just say all of this money that's been sent off to mysterious gender, this and that in Moldova or Sri Lanka or wherever. Just read it all as, what did Izzy say? Money laundering and kickbacks. I think that's the safest bet. Let's see. Nevada says the Dickless want to get rid of the urinals. Maybe that's what the 6.5 million is for. But they would send like way more. They'd send 60 million for that. Chef Rico says if Alberta splits, it should be its own country. We have too many leftards down here. Alberta, if Alberta splits, it will be its own country. It'll have a very close relationship with the U.S., though. Mickey says, it seems all you have to do is reference climate or gender, and bingo, you get dollars. Yeah. Yep. 100%. Danny Rangus, good to see you. Happy Sunday. Hope everyone and your family are having a wonderful summer. Well, that's a really nice sentiment. That's way less degenerate than most of the stuff we see in the chat here. Nice. It's refreshing, actually. Let's see. JDL is late. You're late, JDL. Anyways, good to see you. Let's see. All right, Spambot's trying to get me to link to seeing things. Let's do it tomorrow on the let's do it tomorrow, because you know what? Tomorrow's a busy day for me. I gotta go to the airport, and like I'm not gonna have much time to prepare for the or maybe any time to prepare for the premium only stream tomorrow. So let's save it up for that, because I think I'm gonna need content. I gotta do an hour and a half tomorrow of premium only. Then that'll be it for the month. Although I might just keep doing the premium only ones on Mondays anyway, and just do extra, because they are fun. Actually, I enjoy them. But let's save that stuff for tomorrow. We'll save that for with the Super Dave stuff we do and the Bigot family from Bizarre. Let's see. All right, let me skip to the end of the chat here. Spambot says, when Alberta separates, the only country with a higher per person GDP would be Norway. Very possible. Alberta would do fantastically well on its own. The standard of living would be much higher in Alberta than anywhere else in Canada. Let's see. All right, let's move on. What are we, 2 hours and 8 minutes in already? Wow. We did that. We did this. Woke Canada. Your thoughts on what appears to be a highly emotional, if not polarizing, issue. This is from Concerned Canadian. Do you support cutting all funding for DEI programs? Yes. Yes. Yes and yes. Yes 1,000 times. Yes forever. Yes every second from now until the end of the universe. Now, yes, every microsecond from now until the end of time itself. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Even after DEI has been eradicated, still every microsecond, cut, just so nobody forgets. And it can never raise its ugly head again. It's just divisive, anti-Western. It's a divisive, anti-Western, anti-human ideology. Or system. Left likes to talk about systems all the time, right? Everything's the system. Let's see. Grants containing, this is from the Real Andy Lee Show again. Grants containing the word gender from Global Affairs Canada by year. This is part of the reason Canadians can't have nice things, because we're throwing all of our money away on just garbage. Let's see. So when did Trudeau get in? So you have 2, 17, 16 here. Trudeau gets in 47, 69, 71, 185. Still wasn't enough. You might have thought that when they got to 185 gender projects, they might have said, okay, we're pushing it. Nope. It's current year, Trudeau said. And then they went to 268. And then Trudeau said in 2020, it's still current year. So they went up to 251. And then they had to bring it down a little tiny bit, but still just ridiculous level. I mean, even in 2024, still 177. 2025, 97. That's so far. So I guess we're going to be going back up to around, close to the 200 mark again under Mark Carney, the financial genius, the responsible button-down economist. It turns out that the left don't really have good economists, it seems, right? Who's the guy from the New York Times? He's on CNN all the time. Krugman. Just wrong about everything. Like, isn't he like a Nobel Prize winning economist as well? It shows you how valuable that is. Just literally wrong about everything. He just preached economic apocalypse about Trump just every single day, every chance he could get. And he was just wrong. Almost makes you wonder if he's ideologically captured in some way. I'm sure he would approve of all these too. No, there's not enough gender gibberish bullshit to waste money on. No more. It must be 500, 1,000, 10,000. Again, I'm starting to lose faith in these left-wing economists for some reason. Oh, let's see. All right, we've already been there. Now what are we doing? So from Pierre Poilievre, let's take a look at this. So Pierre Poilievre is emerging again. He's going to be back, coming back into the parliament again soon at the end of summer. And man, he's got his work cut out for him. But also, too, they're kind of like laying it out there for him on a silver platter. I mean, Mark Carney is so bad so far, so incompetent, and apparently also lazy. He's going off on vacations. He's telling us that it's the biggest crisis in Canada's history. Yet he goes on vacation for 2 months. He lets Parliament go on vacation for 2 months. Doesn't provide a budget. Pierre Poilievre said nobody was getting their summer break until the work was done. Mark Carney, no, just everybody leave. Worst crisis ever for Canada, but everyone take a nice break. He's off on vacation. He's going off to Australia. He's going all over the place. Let's go. Like, it is kind of astonishing. It's astonishing at how it's playing out exactly as we feared it would, right? He's this he's this guy who knows how the world works and this amazing negotiator. I've negotiated. I have experience negotiating. Doesn't seem like it. Or I'd like to see these negotiations that he was a part of, because I'm guessing they were probably failures, because he's failing bad. So, in any case, Pierre Poilievre should have a field day with Carney once they get back into Parliament again. Although probably Carney will just hide. Probably just go on vacation for the whole time. In May alone, $16.2 billion in capital fled Canada. Over the last 4 months, nearly $84 billion has left. That's money leaving our economy under the Carney Liberals. Fewer jobs, less growth, and a weaker economy. Canada's capital flight accelerates as investors dump domestic assets. I wonder what could cause this. Let's see. Doubling the deficit, increasing the national debt, which is already over $1 billion a week. It's more than the government sends in transfer payments for health care to the provinces every year. Let's see. Carney's promise to punish Canadian industry, or sorry, he calls them the polluters. The polluters is what he calls them. So his plan to punish them with onerous carbon taxes and expensive new regulations so that they have to conform to his new green utopian ideals. See, I wonder what's going on. I wonder why Trump wanted Mark Carney. Why did Trump endorse Mark Carney? Could it have anything to do with this, that he might have foreseen that Mark Carney's idiotic policy ideas might drive business out of Canada? I wonder. So there we have it. I mean, this has been happening for a decade. This was happening for a decade under Trudeau already, but it's not getting better under Carney. And this is exactly what I've been saying the entire time was going to happen, was going to continue to happen. Obviously, when you make the Canadian economy, if you make Canada a bad place to do business, even worse than it was under Trudeau, and then you've got President Trump down south holding his arms wide, his loving arms wide, saying, come down here. We're going to grease the skids for you. Hey, no tariffs for you now. Come down, set up down here. Bring all your money down here. What do you think? What did anybody think was going to happen? They're going to flee into Trump's loving arms. I mean, Mark Carney refers to Canadian business as the polluters. I don't know. None of this is rocket science, in my opinion. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. So liberal, actually, let's get into this one. Here we are. Where is it? Okay. All right. You know what? I might save this for tomorrow. I'm getting kind of tired. We're already 2 hours and 60 minutes in. I need content for tomorrow. I'm going to save the talking about. So the consumer carbon tax in Canada was not canceled, but brought down to zero under Carney. He stole that from Pierre Poilievre. Poilievre would have actually just gotten rid of it entirely, not brought it down to zero so that it could just be raised up later. He just would have just gotten rid of it. But there's another tax behind that that was actually brought in by Trudeau in 2023, which is now being raised to basically make up for the consumer carbon tax that was reduced to zero. This new tax or clean fuel mandate is just going to just wipe that out anyway. So congratulations, Canadian voters. But I think that we'll go into this in a bit more detail. This needs a bit more time than I've got tonight. So I think we will save that for tomorrow. What do we got here? That's not what I wanted to look at. Yeah, we've already seen this. All right. Let's move on. Not that one. What's going on here? Adam Mokhtar. Who's this guy? Young Hungarian conservative. All right, let's take a look. In Syria, so German MEP Thomas Froelich, German MEP. So there's some sane Germans these days. And he's going to say something that's not going to be popular with the other people in the other MEPs. But let's hear it.
Herr Präsident, in Syrien werden systematisch Minderheiten abgeschlachtet, Christen, Alawiten, Schiiten, Kirchen werden bombardiert, die neuen dschihadistischen Herrscher zementieren ihren Machtanspruch mit Terror. Und was macht die EU? Sie schickt noch mehr Geld nach Damaskus, sie verurteilt die sich dem blutigen Terror nicht beugen, sie stellt sich auf die Seite des islamistischen Terrorregimes und sie adelt den neuen Machthaber Al-Jolani. Gestern noch Al-Qaida-Kämpfer, heute schon vorzeigbarer Westminster-Musterdemokrat. Was für eine moralische Bankrotterklärung. Ja, wir müssen mit den neuen Realitäten in Syrien umgehen, aber nicht so, wie das gerade geschieht. Syrien wurde 15 Jahre lang mit härtesten Sanktionen geknebelt, ohne Rücksicht auf die Bevölkerung. Jetzt, wo Assad weg ist, hebt die EU alle Sanktionen auf, selbst dann, wenn die neuen Machthaber zum Genozid.
Yeah, so I think it's a reasonable point. Why are we sending money to lunatics that are genociding minorities in Syria? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Of course, Canada would not be left out of this. Not by a long shot. What? Sending money for insane things that... hold on a second. Where is it? Here we go. Oh, no, that's not it. Hold on. Here we go. Canada's not going to be left out of sending insane amounts of money to terrorists. Omar Al-Ghabra. Today, the government of Canada announced several key measures to help the Syrian people build a stable country that respects all of its citizens. So let's see, the leader, that Jolani, he's ex-Al-Qaeda and ISIS, and they're all terrorists. So the new people running Syria it's basically just Al-Qaeda, right? It's basically ISIS running Syria now. And the government of Canada wants to help them build a stable country that respects all of its citizens. Let's see, $84 million in humanitarian aid. That is $84 million in terrorism aid. That is $84 million in genociding minorities in Syria aid. That's what's happening there. Druze, Alawites, Christians, all of it's the worst horrors you can imagine happening right now. Erasing economic sanctions, restoring diplomatic relations. It's literally just become a terrorist state. What is happening? How can this be real? How can this be real? I think this guy's got a point. Why are we sending money for genocide? Like, they're just going and slaughtering people, defenseless people. Like, these are just religious ethnic minorities in Syria that are minding their own business, right? And they're doing what they always do. The people in control, running the country now, are doing what they always do every single time. It's entirely predictable. I don't know. It's totally nuts. All right. Let's go back to chat for a second. Then we're getting on the last tab for the evening. Rosie says, let's see. Premium is usually 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, I think we should be good. I've got an appointment at 11:30 tomorrow, but I don't think we should have... I should not be any problem starting at 6. I just don't think I'll have much time to prepare anything beforehand. Let's see. JDL makes a great point. Hit that like. Do it right now. Get that free good karma. Come on, do it. Also, subscribe to the channel and become a member and stuff. Big deal. Let's see. Chef Rico was premium. All right. Chef Rico is out of here. Don't take any shit. We won't, man. Good advice. All right. Let's see. Rosie says genociding minorities. Well, they always do that, though, right? Like as soon as the Islamists take over, they just immediately start beheading and stuff and destroying ancient art. It's totally predictable. This is the totally predictable result. Why would you send money to support that? It's insanity. Well, you really think that it's going to go to humanitarian aid? Like, the Syrian government's going to dole that out right away as soon as they're finishing beheading everybody. Total insanity. All right, let's get to this last tab here. So we already saw that. That was fun. What else we got going on? So here's an elephant saving a gazelle. That's just nice.
¡Vamos! ¡Sí! ¡Sí! ¡Lo logró! ¡Lo logró! ¡Bravo! Miren, 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 miren. Ah, casi lo pude.
Elephants are nice, right? They're just nice. What's going on here? Oh, no. I have to show this. Uranus Fudge Factory. Rosie sent this in. I think it's disgusting. I think it's reprehensible. I don't endorse this whatsoever. But let's take a look. I got to show it. Let's take a look.
Celebrate National Ice Cream Day by getting a lick of Uranus. Today's weather's going to be really hot and a high of 95. Remember, one lick of Uranus and you'll go nuts.
That is not okay.
Here at Uranus number 3 in Richmond, Indiana, it is National Moon Day. You can come into Uranus and enjoy a full moon every night. It's a high of 81 with a chance of thunderstorms. So you might get a little wet, but you can still come in Uranus and get dry.
Not okay.
Welcome to Anderson, Indiana, hour number 2, and we're doing weather in Uranus. It's about a high of 77 today, very cloudy, very rainy. So keep yourself dry, and if you want to be extra dry, stop on in Uranus, get your fudge pack. We'll make sure to make that happen for you.
Not okay.
Yeah. You want to get a shout out on the air? Right down here, Pappy at UranusGeneralStore.com. Outside of that, thank you for joining us every single day, and we'll see you again tomorrow for more weather in Uranus. What are you waiting for? Let us grab your nuts in Uranus. Redneck nuts.
Not okay. Not okay. And now Rosie's sharing a link in the chat. Good Lord. That's actually pretty funny, Rosie. That is actually pretty funny. I'm just pulling your leg. Let's see. Trudeau Survivor says, would you buy some Uranus, that's how you say it, ice cream from the Fence Girl? Yes. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Let's see. Web Funk. How you doing, Web Funk? Planting seeds. Let's see. Raider Schubert says, I should get some energy to race at the front. No, it's not an energy night. That's Tuesday, energy night. All right. Maybe we'll do one more little thing and then we'll call it a night. I got stuff I got to do. I got a busy week coming up. Let's see. Maybe I can hold it to one more thing. Nothing too serious. Let's see. We already did that. All right. How about this from Andy No? If you think that Oregon is getting any less dystopian and horrific, apparently not. I guess Portland, Oregon. Most of Oregon is really, really nice, but just Portland is turned into this kind of communist hellhole. Another floating body has been recovered from the waters in and around Portland, raising the total to 12 this year in the city. Officials repeatedly say the public should not be alarmed and that finding floating bodies is normal due to rising water temperatures. I feel like it's not that normal. I feel like there's more normal things. I've never lived anywhere where floating bodies was normal. So I don't know. Is it racist to be opposed to floating bodies? Like around your town? It must be racist or something. That's why they're saying that. I don't know. I haven't checked it up. I haven't fact checked whether or not that's racist or not, but it must be somehow. Maybe it's like bigoted against people that drowned or something. I don't know. Or people that can't swim, perhaps. I don't know. But in any case, Portland just sounds like a living hell. All right. Democrats were so quiet while this was happening in front of the world. But, I've explained it many times. So when Biden gets close, he can smell the adrenochrome, and he's just wondering how you get it out, right? Because they give him his adrenochrome every night before he goes to sleep, and when he wakes up in the morning, but he doesn't know how they get it. So he knows it's inside of the children, though. So, he sniffs them, he can smell it, and then he just wonders, how do they get it out? Do you get it out through their necks? That's what he's wondering. So that's all that is. Let's see. Pinky Promise, Clown World. So, we ain't bluffing. We will sit out. Your terms are acceptable. On CBA negotiations and higher pay demands, isn't this just every year? Like, don't they just do this every single year? They demand more money? Like, nobody goes to the games, I guess, unless Caitlin Clark is playing that night in their town. But nobody goes to the games. Nobody cares. And it seems like every year. Is it just every month they threaten to sit out and then nobody cares and they don't? So I don't know. I mean, I don't care is the thing. Nobody does. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Your terms are totally acceptable. Sit out forever. It's fine. Let's see. The Beagle. Do you want one? Yes.
Nah, you're bringing home 30 pounds of chaos in a fur coat, that nose. Built like a bloodhound on crack, they catch a scent and suddenly you don't own a dog. You're just an unwilling extra in Fast and the Furious backyard drift. Forget leash training. You could teach a rock to play piano faster. And barking? Oh no, beagles don't bark. They bay, like a possessed trumpet screaming through your soul. At 3 a.m. At birds. At the concept of motion, they're toddlers with turbo mode. They'll ignore your commands, steal your food, then gaslight you with those big old sad eyes. Can't stay mad. Can't breathe either. They just ate your inhaler and don't even try hiding snacks. They will sniff out that stale chicken nugget behind the TV from 2016 and act like they deserve a Michelin star. But you know what? Under all that madness, they're loyal, hilarious, smart as hell, and weirdly good at cuddles when they're not turning your house into a war zone. They're chaotic good, the dog version of the absolute.
Yeah, now I want one. I mean, if just to get rid of all of those old chicken nuggets hidden around the house. Let's see. Thomas Sowell. He was a smart man. I've often said there are 3 questions that would destroy most of the arguments on the left. The first is, compared to what? The second is, at what cost? And the third is, what hard evidence do you have? Well, I guess the answers to this would be, the answer to compared to what would be, I don't know, I'm completely historically illiterate, and it doesn't matter because feelings. At what cost? Western civilization, I guess. And then what hard evidence do you have? My feelings count as hard evidence. Unfortunately, that's the way that it works. See, reason doesn't work with the modern left. That one will save, and we already did this and that, and okay, that's it. We're done. I can't do a second more. I've given you people everything. Let's see. Let's get to the chat, and then we'll wrap it up tonight. Izzy makes a great point. Noticing is always racist and sexist and phobic. Exactly. That's why I never notice anything. If I start noticing something, I immediately stop. Because I'm not a racist or a phobe. I am sexist, though. Let's see. Bad Uncle Frank says, oh, dear, this is about the Portland, Oregon floating body issue. Non-buoyant bigot. Oh, dear. That's a rough one. The worst people I get in here. Just the worst people. No, you're the best. Let's see. Spambot says, I will never visit a store. I will never visit a store that says they'll pack my fudge. It's not a good sales pitch. I agree. Oh, dear. Rosie says, never thought I would like getting booed, but it was booze of affection. Let's see. Think of how sweet it's going to be on Tuesday getting that they-them energy. Think of how sweet that's going to be, how good that's going to feel. It's going to be awesome. Trudeau Survivor says, getting randomly stabbed in a grocery store parking lot is also due to rising water temperatures. Fact check true. 100%. That's right. It's a woman, like an elderly woman in Toronto got stabbed to death by diversity the other day, but I guess it was probably climate change, really. Let's see. Rosie says, sick Biden, having been molested the same way by Tigger at Disney. It is so obvious. Rosie's going dark here. Putting the arm across shoulder and hanging hand down for a grab. Excuse me, paw. Who are you people? Who are you people? Spambot says, if the WNBA played only in body paint and support bra, I might watch it. They'd also have to replace all of the players, literally every player in the WNBA. Actually, no, I did see there's like one teammate of Caitlin Clark would look great in body paint and support bra, actually. I did see one. But like 99.9% of them would have to be replaced, I'm afraid. Just not up to snuff. Not acceptable. Nope. Not acceptable. But what about nope? Nope. Not acceptable. But what about nope? I repeat, not acceptable. You're all going to have to go. All right. Rosie says, cute beagles. They're adorable. Radio Streamer says, I have a beagle mix. Trust me, it takes a certain kind of person to have one. They don't slow down till they're like 180 in dog years. If I live to be 10 years, if I live to be 10 years old at about 9 years they might slow. If they live to be 10 years at about 9, they might slow down. Did they not live that long? They only live about 10 years, 9 years. I don't know. Spambot says, don't forget to visit that archive.org link I posted about. Well, let's do it tomorrow. For the premium stream, because we're going to need material for that. So Spambot says, classic SCTV seasons to watch. I watch it like on YouTube sometimes. I'll just put on some old like half-wits, stuff like that. And what was the one, the country blow-up one with the two farmers? That one was really good. She blowed up real good. Let's see. Ottawa James, how you doing? All right. We're just about to shut down. I'm sorry, Ottawa. Let's see. All right. Trevor says, I mean, I've known that some of them were like 12, 15 years old. Talking about beagles, 12 to 15 years old. I'm just saying they will not slow down until their body forces them to. What if you break their legs? Then they'll slow down. I would never do that to a beagle, obviously. I am not a communist. If I were a communist, I'd eat them. That's the thing, because the famine, right? The famine that was caused by my communism. All right. I guess that's it, everybody. I guess that's it. Sorry, Ottawa James. I can't do a second longer. I got to go. I got a busy week coming up We did 2 hours and 37 minutes, 38 minutes. And yeah, I'm done. All right. But hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for the premium stream. So that would be a fun one. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to rely heavily on audience participation because I just don't think I have time to do much prep before the show. So, but it's always fun when you guys are like heavily involved. So let's just do that. And you guys give me links and stuff that you want me to put on, and we'll just do that. That'll be awesome. That's always fun. It's always a good time, and it's refreshing. All right. So that's it, everyone. We are done for tonight. I want to thank the chat. You guys are actually in really fine form tonight. I'm impressed. So, and if you guys weren't here, it would be super boring and depressing, and I would feel adrift in a cold and indifferent universe. But I don't, because you guys are here. So hopefully I'll see everybody tomorrow night for the premium only stream. It should be pretty fun. It's going to be audience heavy tomorrow. It's going to be chat heavy tomorrow. So think of links you want me to play that we can discuss. Everybody have a great night. And yeah, hope to see you tomorrow, everyone. Talk to you soon.